Hey, good evening, Surag. Can we start?
Yes.
Great. Thank you, Surag, and thank you everyone for joining another webinar on in the Microsoft Entra ID here. We expected almost 150 plus members here. Maybe it's got rescheduled. That may be the reason. Like we had only less members is being joined. Still, we were waiting them to join, so we sent a reminder. Still, we were waiting here. So anyway, let's continue this discussion here. Need to respect the people who has been joined here. They have been planned for attending this training program. Let me introduce myself. My name is Robin. Most of the members may be knowing me very well because we had a couple of programs had in the past, and a couple of the names are familiar here. And about me, I have almost 18 years of experience on in Microsoft, especially on into the cloud security, designing and implementation of Microsoft Azure platform, and have experience on another multi-cloud providers also, like the competitors of Microsoft, like Google or AWS, have some experience on multi-cloud vertical as well here. Along with me, Surag also has been joined here. So in case if you need any help, especially on into the registrations or any material or any upcoming events, anything related to that webinar, you can be in touch with Surag also here. Suraj will be posting a couple of links also on the chat box here. That's been taking you to this community channel, then our official WhatsApp group and official Facebook or other Instagram IDs, everything that will give you a lot of information about upcoming webinars, any technical outages been reported across the globe here, and even you can use all these forums or a platform if you want to have any kind of a technical discussion, or in case if you need any kind of mentorship or any kind of help is being needed, you can able to make use of all this platform here. So closely we are monitoring, or we are being active on that platform here. So technically we'll be here to mentor you, and we'll be here to help you in case if you have any kind of a issue with Microsoft or a Microsoft products here. That's about the quick intro here. Possible I'll start a discussion with a question here. How many of them have been heard about a word called Entra ID here? Can you raise your hand? Or it's been like, can you comment it on the chat here? How many of them have been heard Entra ID, or anyone has got experience on in the Entra ID side here in the past? Can you just comment it on the chat? Anyone has been already working on in a Entra ID, or it's like got a chance to see these options here, right? You can comment it on the chat here. Anyone has been heard about Entra ID, or anyone has been worked on in Entra ID here? I can see that like Tom's and Sakir has got some experience here. Tom's, can you just comment it on the chat here? What is your daily operations you're doing with Entra ID here? What is your current knowledge with the Entra ID here? So are you working on an Entra ID, or only you heard about the terminologies? Okay, I can see like Frankly has been working on an Azure AD here, and you may be able to see like few people has been start working here. Possible like I'll take you two step back here. How many of them have been attended Microsoft Azure training in the past year? Possible let me ask this question also on the previously. So like before getting on to the technical discussion, uh, any anyone has been attended Microsoft training in the past, especially like the training which have been organized us, or it's been like any other Microsoft training program? Unfortunately, got missed here. Okay, we can see. Unfortunately, I got missed here. So this training program, possible like So I'm just sharing the screen here. So this training program, whatever been organized today here, we thought like we'll completely focus on into the Entra ID or Microsoft Azure Active Directory part here. So we'll be discussing about or we'll be focusing more about how practically you can able to make use of your Microsoft Entra ID here in case if you want to enable any kind of security controls in your organization here. You maybe heard about a word or it's been like when you start adopting the Microsoft technologies or when you start adopting the cloud technology, definitely there is a role it's been coming like how do we secure your resources here, right? Because you want to secure your identities or you want to ensure that whatever resources are available on in your infrastructure, it's been secured here. So we'll start with discussing deeply into how do we secure your identities. We'll start with discussing about how do we enable the authentication or we'll discuss about how do we use the authorization within the Microsoft Entra ID, which will help you to protect the resources like your Active Directory users, or which will help you to protect your groups, or which will help you to protect your external identities against any kind of a potential threats here. That may be the first part or first discussion we are planning to have it today here. And possibly we'll try to give you some information about what exactly this Entra ID here, how practically this has been very different from your on-premises Active Directory, because a couple of members may be already working on in a legacy infrastructure. You may be got a couple of experience on in your Active Directory management, or it's like a global catalog server management or a domain controller management here, right? Or even the IAM management also. So we'll have a detailed discussion about what is the difference between your on-premises AD and what is the difference between or what is the technical difference you're going to see it on in a Entra ID here, and what exactly this Entra ID has been doing and what kind of the features you can go to get it from the Entra ID here. In case if you want to integrate your on-premises Active Directory, or in case if you want to do any kind of a replication about your Entra ID objects or Active Directory objects, how practically we can able to adopt that here. That may be the one discussion planning to have it today here. So we'll discuss about overview about Microsoft Entra ID here, and we'll discuss about right individuals or a group, and we'll see how sensitive information and the system can be protected inside your Azure Active Directory here. Second one, we'll just talk about securing the identities in a Microsoft Entra ID here. So you may be heard about security can be configured with the help of a different methods here. So we'll be discussing or we'll be leveraging the option of a concept called multi-factor authentication here or MFA, right? You may be seeing like whenever you start accessing the Microsoft or whenever you start accessing the banking website, you may be seeing like always it's been asking or it's been sending for a OTP code here, right? So we'll start exploring the option like how do we enable protection with the help of a multi-factor authentications here. And you may be able to see like you have a another option is been available. It's like how do we enable a feature called conditional access here. So you may be able to see like a feature which has been supported on in a Microsoft Entra ID. It's called conditional access here. So you may be able to see like there is another option has been available. It's called conditional access here, right? You may be seeing like you have a concept has been available or a feature has been available on in Entra ID. It's called conditional access here, which will help you to define a rule that will allow or that will grant or block access based on your user location, or it will allow based on the device compliance or sorry, so or the risk level which you have been configured here. And the third module which we are planning to discuss today, it's about the concept called passwordless authentication here. How practically you can able to enable Windows Hello or a Fido or a like Microsoft Authenticator options, or how do we enable single sign-on authentication methods here. And the fourth point, we'll be discussing about how do we enable a concept called authorizations here. We'll talk about in case if the user is got a or its user is got authenticated, how a resource can be accessed with the help of a concept called RBAC here. So RBAC is the concept which will allow you to define the particular resource or a particular subscription or tenant or a management group. Is it allowed to access or it's been allowed to use it here? So we'll discuss about how practically we can able to connect or enable a concept called role-based access control here. And definitely we'll start discussing about audit law, or we'll discuss about identity protections also here. Now, let me give you a scenario here. You are part of a project, or you are part of a project where you are handling a Azure security role, or you have been appointed as a cloud SME for the Entra ID here. Now, it's your responsibility to secure your identities, and you will be responsible for managing the different access control using Microsoft Entra ID feature, which we are going to discuss today here, which will help you to protect users, groups, or any external identities from the security threats here. So you need to, or you will be responsible for implementing multi-factor authentication. You will be responsible for implementing the conditional access policies, and it's your responsibility to prevent any kind of the unauthorized access while any user has been trying to connect it here. That's your scenario here. So possible like after this discussion, you will get a complete idea about how do we secure your user identities with the help of a Microsoft Entra ID by implementing a strong authentication or enabling a different set of the access management controls here. That will be the one learning objective we are going to take it for today's discussion. Second one, we'll see how do we protect groups and access management by enforcing security measures to prevent any kind of the unauthorized changes or any kind of misuse also. That may be the second point we are trying to discuss today here. Then we'll be discussing about how do you manage external identities in case if there is any kind of a merging, or in case if any kind of a collaboration is been coming, you may have to collaborate with a different organization. It can be a vendor or a competitor or the acquired company here. So in that kind of a situation, how do we enable such kind of a features here, external identities here? So these are the few points or the few goals we have it for today here. Basically, like we are trying to see what exactly the Entra ID and how we can able to use it here also here. I'll pause it here. Any questions from anyone? Are we good? If you're good, you can able to comment it on the chat, or you can just put a like button. I'm not seeing any chat messages here. I hope you're good. Requesting you to confirm on the chat option. I can see only the Franklin's been commented. Request everyone to use it here. Okay, I think almost everyone it's been confirmed. They're good with the so far whatever discussion has been available here. Now you may be able to see like another concept here. It's been like Entra ID here. Let's have a detailed discussion here, and let's have a detailed discussion about how Entra ID can be used it here. Now, when you start working on an Azure side here, you may be heard about a two concept here. Let me share my screen. You maybe heard about two concepts here. One, it's about authentication, and second one, it's about a concept called authorization here, right? You maybe heard about two concept here. It's about authentication, and second one, it's about authorization here. So when we had a cloud fundamentals, you maybe notice here, in case if anyone has been using a cloud infrastructure, your all resources are technically it's been configured or in a cloud side here, and your end user or your uh, respective clients may be sitting on in a on premises, or they may be using on in a uh, remote location here, and they are going to access the cloud resources here. So right now we are trying to discuss about how practically you can able to connect it here. When we had a discussion about the Azure fundamental class, you maybe notice like Microsoft has been supported different management tools here, right? You may be remembering like we had a Azure portal, or you may be seeing we had a Azure PowerShell, you have a Azure CLI, you had a Azure SDK, or you have a Azure mobile app, right? So you have a number of uh, management tools are available here. And you maybe notice the moment if anyone has been connected, it's asking for the username or a password. You see, if someone has been typing portal.azure.com, you may be able to see the first screen, which you are going to get it here. It's about the login screen, right? Is that message here? Okay, so basically, like it's asking for a username or a password here. So you need to understand at any point of time, if anyone has been start using a cloud infrastructure, irrespective of the management tool, the first screen you are going to get it, it's about the authentication window here, right? So you may be able to see like it's an authentication window, it's been coming, and where you need to enter the username or a password here. Now the question is coming, who will authenticate this one here? So the moment when you enter the username or a password, the authentication, basically like what exactly this authentication? Can you comment it on the chat? What is your understanding about authentication or authorization here? Can you comment it on the chat? What is your understanding about authentication and authorization on in a real-time scenario here? Can you comment it on the chat? Anyone has been heard about authentication or authorization here, right? So you may be able to see like authentication, it's a process. It's validating, right? Whether the particular Hey, Sureka, am I audible? Yeah,
Yes, you're
look,
audible.
yeah. Sorry, like I got a message on the system. USB driver is got corrupted, or USB message received on the laptop here. So I was saying, when we start working on in a cloud, you have a different management tools or a management options are available here. So the moment when someone has been connecting, there is a validation is been coming from our side here, right? So that basically it's been knowing as a authentication here. So technically, if anyone has been giving the username or a password on the screen here, someone on the backend who normally it's been validated here. So a user or an app, if they're trying to access the portal, there is a validation is been coming on the backend here, and normally it's going to use a different protocols here, right? So there are two identity management solution. Normally it's been supported on in a cloud here. One cloud solution you can able to use, or identity management solution you can use, it's called Entra ID. And few months back, this must be knowing with a different name. It's called Azure Active Directory here. Right now they have been rebranded, and the new or the right terminology to be used, it's going to be the Entra ID here. So my point, in case if anyone has been using any of the cloud solutions, or in case if you are trying to integrate with any of the third party application or any other uh, solutions inside your infrastructure, you are not going to maintain any separate identity management solution. Rather than using a third party item, you will be using the existing one here. So you already have an Entra ID been available, you have a database or you have a solution available on in the organization, which will help you to do a validation or verification here, because we don't want everyone to go and connect on the portal, because that will allow the particular person to restart or modify or make any kind of the configuration here, right? So basically like you have a two concept, it's been coming on in a cloud here. One, it's basically not as a authentication, and second one, it's basically not as a authorization here. So you have a two concept available here, and authentication, and second one, it's about authorization here. Now authentication means the moment when you given the username or a password, someone has been validating or someone has been verifying it, right? You may be able to see like that is a kind of the solution you can able to see it on in the portal here, right? So you may be able to see like that is a kind of the concept, it's been available on in a real time scenario here, right? You may be able to see like you have a solution has been available, and with the help of that you can able to manage it here. Now how normally it's been authenticated here, you have a different uh, authentication protocol that's been supported here. So the point here, authentication normally can be done with the help of Entra ID. You have option has been available called Entra ID. It's been available here. You can able to make use of the Entra ID, or you can make use of your existing Azure ID directory or Entra ID also here. So the moment if someone has been connected or someone has been logged in onto the portal here, that validation it's normally it's been done either with the Entra ID solution, or it's been done with the help of the on-premises Active Directory or a domain controller here. So that is the way normally the authentication has been coming here. Authorization means that once Robin or Frankly has been logged in onto the portal here, imagine a situation, for example, like you have been connected onto the cloud portal here. Let me connect it on in another window. Let's wait for a minute. Right now, I just connected onto the portal here. So if any user or anyone has been connected onto the portal here, you may be able to see like there is a solution has been available here, right? You may be able to see like you have a solution has been available. With the help of that, you can able to connect it here, right? You may be able to see like you have a solution has been available. With the help of that, you can able to access a different kind of the resources here. So the moment when you start connecting onto the portal here, you may be able to see like you have a in number of the resources are available on in the Azure portal here. Possible like you may have a 200 plus native products are available, and if you go on into the marketplace, you may be able to see almost 8,000 plus applications are available here, because that's the product. It's confidently you can able to host, or that confidently you can able to enable on in the cloud side here. So that process, once you authenticated here, what are the resources as an end user I can able to access inside your portal, that basically it's been knowing as a authorization here. So what is the solution we are using? It's basically it's been using a word called authorization here. So with the help of authorization, you may be knowing the validation here. So technically there will be two important terms. It's been coming on into the Entra ID here. One, it's about authentication, and the second one, it's about authorizations here. Any questions from anyone? If you're good, can you comment it on the chat here? Meanwhile, let me give you a couple of lecture notes also on the chat here. Let's give a couple of information on in the chat here. I can see only Sakri has been given details here. Let me make some details for you here. What exactly this is authentication or authorization here. Surya, can you promote me in my second ID also? It's been um, a host or something because I'm not able to paste this lecture note over there. Let's wait for a minute here. I'm not able to.
You should be able to do it now. I had just promoted that ID.
Thank you, but I'm not seeing that one here. Give me a second. Give me a second here. I'm just checking on in my other side also. Here also I'm not able to. Um, see, Surya, you may be able to see you.
I think it's showing like inside the meeting. Are you sure that ID is actually in the meeting? Because
Hey, Surya is saying something here. I was just checking on other system also.
yeah,
Anyway, like
uh-huh.
you go ahead, Surya here. Anyway, I'll share the note in the later side here. Let's focus on the discussions here. Right? Now, you may be able to see here, right? The moment when you connect it onto the portal here, you may be able to say like you have a solution has been available, and with the help of that, you can able to validate, or it's been like you can able to enable all kind of authentication or a authorizations here. So there are two important solutions are coming here. It's like a authentication, and the second term it's coming, it's called authorization here. So whatever the process it's been coming for validating your identity here, whether the user has been active or whether user has been available, that validation it's been considered as a authentications here. And whatever validation it's been doing, it's been done with the help of a on-premises. It's been done with the help of a solution of uh, Active Directory, or it's been done with the help of your on-premises Active Directory solutions available in the organizations here. Now, let's go and see how it's been done here. What are the options it's been supported here, or how practically you can able to make use of this here. Right now, you maybe got an idea. Your Entra ID or whatever platform we were using on in the past, it's not as a Azure Active Directory. Which one, or which has been responsible for providing all kind of identity management on in a cloud side here, right? That will be responsible for user management, or that will be responsible for group management. So whatever action it's been performed on in your on-premises, all that kind of the solution you are going to get it on in a cloud-based identity here, right? So that basically it's been known as a Entra ID here. So Entra ID, it's been like it's been the backbone of your organization here. So the moment when you create a Azure Active Directory, when you create a Azure account, in addition to your subscription, which normally it's been used for your billing purpose, you are going to get a tenant or a directory also here. So whatever users, whatever group or application which you're trying to create on in the portal, it's going to be mapped along with your Active Directory or Entra ID on in a cloud side here. So by default, there is an automatic trust relationship that has been built between your Active Directory or Entra ID and whatever subscription is been available here. So always your subscription and your Entra ID have a one-to-one connection or a trusting. It's been by default. It's been available here. So because of this trust or because of this trust relationship, you can use your subscription for managing any of the authorization in for your users here. So whatever users has been available or whatever users you have been creating here, with the help of this subscription or with the help of your Entra ID tenant, you can able to define your authorization. You can define if Franklin or Thomas or if anyone has been connecting, whether that particular solution it's been available or whether the particular solution has been supported or not supported, that you can able to define it here. I hope it makes sense here, right? So I'm just trying to give you an idea about how practically this has been supported on in a cloud solutions here and how practically you can able to enable a validations also here. Now, when you go back onto the Azure Active Directory or Entra ID here, even this has been used for all kind of integration also here. So your Azure Active Directory, it's not just used by your uh, on premises or not used by your whatever solutions it's been configured on in Azure portal. No, this Entra ID can be the single source of the information or solution it's been available on in the cloud by the Active Directory here, right? You may be able to see like you may be able to see like you have a solution has been available here, and with the help of that you can able to configure it here. So that is the way you have a solution has been available configured on in the solutions here, right? Just give me a second. So when you start working on an Azure Active Directory here, your Active Directory can be the identity management solution for your all the resources has been available on in the portal, right? That means your Active Directory can be used for all your internal resources which has been available on in the portal here. That means all the internal resources here, and even this can be used for all kind of the external resources also here. So you maybe have a option has been available. With the help of that, you can able to manage it here, all kind of external resources also here. Now you may be able to see like the moment when you start creating your account here, right? When you take a Azure Active Directory, the moment when you start creating your account here, you may be able to see there is a hierarchy has been formed here. When it's been like you will have a account, it's been available here. Below that, you have a tenant, it's been available here. Below that, you can able to see there is a management group has been created. Below that, you can able to see your subscription, it's been available here. Then you have a resource group has been available. Then you can able to see like you have a resource also is been available here. So if you take the hierarchy of your cloud resources here, your resource hierarchy has been starting from your resource. Then on top of that, you have a resource group has been available. On top of that, you have a subscription. On top of that, you have a management group. Then you have a tenant and account that's been available here. This is the way the hierarchy has been available on in the cloud here. So that may be the few point almost everyone needs to be remembered here. So you may be able to see like that may be the best way you can able to take it here. Just give me a second here. Okay, so you may be able to say like you have a resources been available, and you may be able to see like this the hierarchy has been coming on in a cloud infrastructure here. Now, when you start working able to, you have a resources been available, and you may be able to see like you can have a solution has been available, right? When you go back onto the portal, the moment when you start created an account here, you may be able to see you got an account by the email ID you have been registered here. You may be able to see like for the current situation, have a Robin, the ID it's been available here. You may be able to see on the right side top. And the moment when you connected here, you may be able to see there is a tenant also it's got created for you. See, along with your subscription or along with your account, there is a tenant that's been created here. See, you may be able to see there is a tenant that's been created inside your account here. So whatever users or a group or whatever objects or whatever resources you are creating or whatever subscriptions it's been available on in your system, everything it's going to be mapped under this tenant here. So you may be able to see there is a tenant that's been available here, and all your resources are mapped against this one here, right? Right now you may be able to see like if you look into the current picture here, I'm just giving you a simulated image here, or it's been like a live demo here. You may be able to see like how your directory it's been looks like here, right? You may be able to see like you have a name, you have a tenant detail, and it's giving you the details about your domain also here, right? And this is been going to be your portal which will allow you to manage your Entra ID here. So all your Entra ID configurations, all kind of the Entra ID management that you are going to be managed with the help of this Azure portal here. So this is going to be the one option or one method you can able to use it for your Entra ID management here. Or you can able to use, there is another dedicated portal also here that's called ad.portal.azure.com. If you just give here Microsoft ad.portal.azure.com. When you connect it on this portal here, this has been a dedicated portal only for the Active Directory management here. See, when you connect it onto the portal here, this is the portal for your Active Directory. There is another one. It's called ad.portal.azure.com here. See, it's basically known as a Microsoft Entra Admin Center here. So this is a user interface, and it's dedicated for Active Directory management here. See, it's got it's totally different from the earlier GUI mode or EUI interface we were using, right? Because the previous one, whatever we were using, that allow you to manage Many other resources also here. But if you take it to Entra Admin Center, this Entra Admin Center, it's dedicated only for the identity management here. See, you can able to see like you have a resources are available here where you can able to manage your users group. So this console, it's been allowing only the identity management options here. It won't get any information about your storage, or you won't see any information about your storage account or a database or a firewall or any of other details here. Make sense? So that is the way it's been available here. So with the help of that, you may be able to see like a solution has been available on in the portal here. That's the way the configuration has been available on in the portal here, right? Any questions so far from anyone? Okay, so that's about the portal management here. Now, right now we understood like the moment when you start working on in a cloud here, you have a Entra ID or it's like a cloud-based solution is been available. So basically, like if you take a cloud infrastructure, you have a two options are available here. One side, you can able to use your identity management. On the other side, you can able to make use of your existing on-premises Active Directory also. So in case if you already have a uh, dedicated or it's like you have a legacy Active Directory has been available, you can able to make use of that here. So that means you have an option to use your existing Active Directory for your management here. Or the second one, you have a cloud-based Entra ID has been available. Even you can able to use this your Entra ID also. That means if there is a user has been coming, if the user has been created on in a cloud, it's going to be validated with the help of the Entra ID. And if the user has been coming from the existing Active Directory, you have an option to go and get validated or authenticated by your legacy, or there's an option to validate it from the cloud also by replicating whatever user account which have been created on in the on premises here. So with the help of that, you can able to do a replication, and with the help of that, you can able to do a validation on in a real time scenario here, right? You may be able to see you have a solution has been available with the help of that configuration can be done on in a real time situation. So definitely you may be having a question here. Is there any kind of a difference between a on-premises and a cloud also here? Possible like let me take you to this old on-premises scenario here. Let me try to implement a on-premises Active Directory here. Then you may be able to see this the difference here. Let me go back onto the portal. Let me try to catch it here. I'm just trying to create one domain here. That means the on-premises domain here. So let me try to create a on-premises DC here. I'm just trying to create. I'll just try to create like a on-premises Active Directory server. I'll just trying to create in a North Europe location. I'm just trying to create a network here. I'm just trying to create a on-premises DC, trying to see what is the difference between these two here. Let's wait. You can see here right now the server has been available here. You may be able to see like a solution has been available, and with the help of that, you can able to see the difference here. So right, I'm just trying to build a on-premises DC here. Let's wait. Right now, this deployment it's been completed here. Let's try to promote this over here. Let's wait for that. We can able to see here. Let's try to connect it here. We are just trying to promote one VM as a on-premises domain controller. Then you can see the difference between on-prem versus the cloud here. It's not accepting the username here. We may have to reset the password here. Whatever password we are given, it's been not taken. So let me reset the password here. It's been progress here. Right, it's been reset of password. It's been progress here. Let's wait for here because we're just trying to see how do we differentiate here on premises versus the Entra ID here, because always the people got a confusion here. I already have a on premises DC has been available. Is it the same, or is there any kind of a technical difference between these two here? Let's try to understand that. Right now there's a password reset. It's been progress. It may take a few seconds here. It look like it's been completed here. It's possible like you can have option has been available here. Right now it's been enter the username or a password here. You can see here like you have option has been available. You can make use of this. Right now this server has been ready here. We are trying to promote. Right now, if you see this structure here, you have a VM. It's been available here. If you take your legacy or your on-premises scenario, you have a server hosted with a server operating system. On top of that, you are installing your Active Directory module here. See, now if you see your on-premises, you may be recalling it's been implemented with the help of Active Directory domain service. See, I'm just trying to install the Active Directory server here. So this is basically it's a on top of an infrastructure as a solution. On top of that, the Windows Server service you have been enabled here, right? You can see this has been progressing here. You can see this installation of your on-premises. It's in progress here. It's been progress here. Let's wait. Right now, the Active Directory module installation, it's in progress here. Let's wait for that. You can see this Active Directory module installation is got completed here. Now we need to promote this over here. You may be able to see, like, if you take a on-premises scenario, the first difference you are going to see here, in case if you are using a identity management solution on an on-premises idea, you may be seeing we had a concept of forest or a domain, child domain, parent domain, group policy, NTLM authentication, Kerberos protocol, right? All these options are supported on in a on-premises Active Directory. But when it is coming on into a Entra ID, you don't have any kind of a concept of forest or a child domain or a parent domain or a global catalog server or a group policy here. So the moment when you create an account, by default there is a domain or ID or domain that's been created here. See, you don't need to create or you don't need to configure anything here. Now, if you take your on-premises scenario here, right now you may be able to see the difference here. See, if you take your on-premises scenario, you are available on in the portal here, right? You can able to see, right? You have a resources been available, and on top of that, you have a configuration has been available, and you may be able to see like the forest option has been supported here, right? See, you may be able to see like the forest option has been available here. We need to define the domain here, but when it is coming on the cloud, we don't have any kind of such options here. So possible like we may have to create a domain, like I'm just giving like apple.com. So like this you are creating a domain here. So the first technical difference you are going to see between your Entra ID or on-premises one, it's the forest or a the kind of the hierarchy or the kind of the structure we are using here. So you may be able to see in Entra ID we don't have any concept of a forest or a child domain. Concept has been available here. Let me implement this over here. Then we'll go ahead with the other discussions here. Right now you can see implementation, it's in progress here. Right now this installation, it's in progress here. It's in on-premises details here. Right now the deployment, it's been in progress here. Installation has been triggered here. Right now this installation of on premises, currently it's been progress here. Let's wait. Installation, it's in progress here. Let's wait for a few seconds here. Meanwhile, you can take a 3 minutes break also, because the installation is in progress. It will take hardly 3 to 5 minutes here. You can take a break and be back. Thank you. I hope you're back. So we are trying to do a comparison between on-premises and with a cloud infrastructure here. That means the Entra ID here. We have learned a couple of points here. One point we have been learned, like if you're using on-premises Active Directory, that technically it's been installed on top of your on-premises servers. There is Active Directory module. It's been configured here, right? So that is the way it's been implemented here. And second point we have been learned, if it is a Entra ID, by default the tenant it's been created and your subscription has been mapped along with that here, right? That will be the second point you have been noticed here. Now, when you go back onto the on-premises Active Directory we have been installed here, let's go and see where is currently it's been standing here. You can just go to the virtual machine. You have a on-premises Active Directory has been available here. If you go to this portal right now, if you see here, I'm just trying to connect it here. You can see this has been connecting here. We have been configured a domain here. So let's try to connect it here. Let me enter the username and the password. You may be able to see the one difference here. In a on-premises DC, it's been supported a feature called group policy here. But when it is coming on in a Azure AD, you don't have any feature like a group policy here. There we had a concept only for a Azure policies here. Now, if you see here, you have a server manager has been available here, and you can see the options are supported. Right now, this has been loading here. You may be able to see on in the Active Directory or the administrative console, there is a different tools are enabled here. See, something called as Active Directory Center, Admin Center. You have a domain and trust center. You have a site and services. You have a users and computers. You have a site and services, right? There is some additional module or a console or administrative tool we were using on in a on-premises DCSC. If if anyone want to do any kind of a user or a group management, you may be remembering we were using Active Directory users and computers here, right? See, you have a Active Directory users and computers here, right? You have option has been available. With the help of that, you can able to create user or group management here, right? You may be able to see like you have a solution has been available, right? You may be able to see like with the help of that, you can able to configure here. And on the other side here, you may be able to see like you have a solution has been available. You have a, if you take a Entra ID, you are not going to get any separate console here, right? You have only two options has been available. One option has been like you can able to use your Entra ID options here. Right? So the Azure portal you can use. This is the only one tool you can able to use for all the kind of the Active Directory management, or whatever tool we have been discussed in the past, like admin center. This may be the another tool you can able to use for a user management here. So that may be the one difference you can able to see it on in the uh, Active Directory console or a connection part here. Now, if you take another difference here, right? You may be able to see like you have a ADDS or on-premises solutions are available here, right? So another difference you can able to see it on in a real-time scenario here. It's about the protocol we were using here. Because if you take the authentication protocol, which normally we use it on in on premises, that basically the Kerberos, or we had a concept of a NTLM kind of a protocol we were using. But when it is coming on in an Entra ID, the protocol which you are going to use it here, it's normally it's going to be Open ID, or it may be using a auth based or 2.0, or it's kind of or SAML based authentication protocol we were using in a on-premises scenario. The authentication protocol we were using, it's about NTLM, or we had a Kerberos kind of authentication protocol here. So this may be the another difference you can able to see it here. And even if you take the hierarchy or um, the kind of the directory type, normally we were using it's like a more hierarchical or LDAP based structure, right? If you take on-premises one, it's mostly it's been a LDAP based structure we were using here. But when it is coming on into Entra ID, we are basically using more flat oriented structure or more API based structure here. And when you start working on in on premises, we had a concept like a group policy, or it's been supporting a features like a group policy kind of a features here, right? You may be having a group policy kind of feature has been supported here. And when it is coming on into cloud here, currently it's been not supported any of the group policies here. You have Azure policies are available, and you may have to use other policies like a Intune policy or MDM policy kind of thing here. So you don't have any direct Azure Active Directory group policy options are available here. The option it's been supported on into the cloud here. It's a Intune or a used based options here. So that may be the one method you can able to use it here. So that may be the solution you can able to use. With the help of that, you can able to configure here, or with the help of that, you can able to connect it here. And another option you may be able to see like the licensing part here. When you start working on in a on-premises scenario, we don't need any separate license for your Active Directory here. So you had only Active Directory license. It's only the OS license or Windows Server user or a CAL based license only. It's been available here. But when it is coming on into a cloud side here, you may be able to see the moment when a directory has been configured, there are different type of the license you can able to see here, right? You may be able to see like you may be able to see there are different type of license it's been supported. It's basically Microsoft is saying, in case if you want to get any kind of the features here, Microsoft is saying there can be 4 licenses been supported. One is been like a free, premium P1, or a P2, or a 365 here. There's a 4 license it's been available here. Now, when you take by default configuration, all your Active Directory has been configured with a free mode here. So a free or a P1 or a P2, it's all depends upon what kind of the feature you want to implement on in your cloud here. What are the kind of additional security feature, or what is the additional kind of configuration or solution you want it on in a cloud. Based on that, the feature it's been available here. So you may be able to see like there are different licenses being needed here. Now you may be able to see like you have a resources been available like a P1 or a P2. It's been basically like it's a paid or it's like a cost has been involved here. So in case if anyone want to use it here, and you may be able to say like you have a license is been needed here. That's been like a ID like a P1 or a P2. There is additional charge it's been coming here. By default, there is no solution has been available without free here. So you have to pay the additional amount here. So you have to pay the additional amount for that here. And by default, you have a free or it's been feature has been available, which will allow you to get basic features here like user or a group management. That kind of a feature it's basically it's been getting here. You may be able to see like you have a option has been available here like a user or a group options are available here. So basically if the tenant it's been configured on in a free mode, it's basically it's been provided like a device registration. You can able to go for creating a user or a group. But in case if you want to have any kind of multi-factor authentication, or in case if you want to go for any kind of a self-service password reset, or in case if you want to go for any kind of a AD connect, or in case if you want to use any of the dynamic group or any kind of the additional or a security feature, that may be not supported here. So in case if you want to go for any additional security feature or additional Active Directory or cloud feature, if you need to convert here. How will you convert here? If you go to this Active Directory, you may be able to see there is an option available here for you. If you go to the Entra ID here, if you go to the license option, you will get an option for convert here. That means like a try or buy here. Right now, it's been uh, it's been moved to the 365 here. So using this the 365 admin center, you can able to convert it here, like it's a P1 or a P2 here, right? So it depends upon what is the kind of the feature, the solution you want it on in your system. You have an option for converting here, so you can able to convert into P1 or a P2 here. So basically, the additional feature which you are going to get it on in a real-time scenario, it depends upon the kind of the license it's been supported here. So with the help of that P1 or a P2, you may get the additional feature on in a real-time scenario here. Any questions from anyone? So on premises, it's been like it's a cal base, and in a cloud base, you have a uh, options. It's been like available here, right? So that's about the license part here. Now let's go and see how do we create a user here. Now, right now, if you take your current infrastructure here, you may be able to see we have a couple of resources are available here, right? You may be able to see like you have a servers are available here. You may be able to see like you have a solution has been available here. See, you may be able to see like configurations are available here. On the portal, so you can see all this kind of solution has been available here. Now, if you go to this user creation here, you can go to the Entra ID. On the Entra ID, you can able to create the users here. See, you can just go to here. I'm just trying to create a user here. Let me try to create a user here. I'm trying to create a user called portal here. You can just see. I'm just trying to create a user here. First of all, I'll try to create a user called Surak. Let me try to give this same username here, Surak. I'm just trying to create a user here, Surak here. You may be able to see like we created a user here. Let me set a password here. Okay. I just created a user here, right? So you may be able to see like you have a user has been available here. You may be able to see like you have a user has been available here, right? You may be able to see like you have a user has been available here. So you may be able to see how do we create a user on in a Entra ID, right? You may be able to see like you can go to the Entra ID, and using an Entra ID, you have an option has been available where you can able to create a user here, right? You may be able to see there is option has been available called a new user. With the help of that, you can able to create. And at some situation like if you want to create bulk users, you can able to use this option here. See, you may be able to see there is a bulk operation is here. You can able to create a bulk create here. You can just go to create a bulk user account here. So you may be able to see like a bulk create here. Now here you can able to see there is a CSV file. For example, like you want to create a 50 or a 100 users here. Instead of creating all the 100 users together here, you can create a CSV file here. Now you may be able to see there is a CSV file. You can able to get it here. Here you can able to enter whatever information or properties you want. Once it's been done, you can able to upload it here. See, you can able to go and upload it here. So rather than creating a individual user account, the bulk user account you can able to create with the help of this here. Even this can be used for bulk invite also. For example, like you want to invite someone from an external. For example, like you are doing some kind of acquisition, or you are trying to have any kind of B2B or a B2C kind of invite. If you need it here, then you want to invite anyone from the external user account, even you can able to use it here. See, for example, like you are acquired a company here, they want to use your network here, right? Then you may be able to use this method here. See, you may be able to see right here. You may be able to see like a solution is been available here. You may be able to see like with the help of that, you can able to configure it here. See, you may be able to see like you have an invite option is here. Right now, you may be able to see here. You have a new user account. It's been created here. See, you have a new user account. It's been available here, and the user account you have been created here. We are given a name called Surag here, right? See, you may be able to see like if you go to this user account here, not a group users, you may be able to see like you have a users been available here. See, you have a option has been available here. You have a solution has been available. Can it be create user by a group or a department as an example? Frankly, we can able to do here. In case if a user has been available, here you have an option to add the department. You have all the properties can be edited here. See, you can able to add all the kind of the properties, department, all the details here. See, you have all these options is been available. With the help of that, you can able to do here. See, you have a solution has been available. With the help of that, you can able to create it here. You have option has been available. With the help of that, you can able to create it here. You have a job information and the company name. So this is the information Sangling you're using, right? The department ID or similar like your Active Directory object, right? So the on-premises we had an option for a lot of Active Directory attributes we used to create it here. Similar way we can able to create it here also. So you may be able to see like you have a option has been available. With the help of that, you can able to create it here. Frankly, I hope this is the information you are looking, right? Now I can see there is another questions on in the chat here. The question is coming like if someone has been coming here, yes, so you can able to create it here, right? So because if you take a Entra ID here, that's going to be the I'm not able to see the name here. The question I'm seeing like if you create a user in Entra ID, is it automatically create a user in M365? Answer is yes here. It's been created on in the other way around also here, right? So whatever user account it's been created, your IAM is going to be the single source of your information, or it's going to be the single source of IAM solutions here. So whatever ID you have been created here, it's been created on into the Entra ID only here. So that is the way it's been created. So that is the way it's been created on in the cloud here. So automatically, it's automatically create the user account in a Microsoft also here. So same way in a reverse also, Abri is like if you create a 365, that UA wrapper will help you to create a user account in the cloud also. So it's both the way it's been created here. I believe it's been clear now. I hope that answer makes sense here, and you may be able to see like you're clear about the answer now here. Now, possible like I'll try to add one more point here. Since you asked about the 365 here and the Entra ID, what will happen if you have a user you have been created on in on premises? Is it automatically it's been pushed onto the cloud? What will happen if you create a user account in the cloud also here? Possibly we'll take the same example here. If you take the current scenario, you have a user, it's been created on in a in a Entra ID here. you will go and see, is this user is been replicated to the on-premises here. You have an on-premises server is here, right? Are you seeing any of the user it's been replicated here? See, if you go to this on-premises here, even though you have a resources been available here, right? You may be able to see like you have a user account, it's been created on the Entra ID. That user account it's been not replicated here on premises here. See, you may be able to see like you have a solution is been available, right? You may be able to see like you have an option has been available here, right? You may be able to see you have a user account replication has been not happening from cloud to on premises here. Let's give you the reverse method here. Take a scenario like you have a user, you have been created on into the cloud here. Sorry, you created on in on premises. Let's go and see, is there any kind of a replication to the cloud here? For example, like I'm trying to create a user called, um, let me take one example here. Let me try to create a user called Roy here. I'm just trying to give a username called Roy. I'm just trying to create it here. Or I'll try to create a user account called Robin here. Robin. I'm just trying to create a user account on in a, it's been created here. Now you may be able to see here, I have a user account, it's been created on in the on premises, and you may be able to see the user has been available here. Now let's go and see what happened on in the Entra ID here. You have Entra ID has been here, right? You may be able to see like you have a Entra ID has been available here. Are you seeing any kind of the user replications here? You may be not seeing the user account Robin here, right? So you may be seeing like in case if there is any user has been created here, you may be able to see like the user account Robin which have been created on into the on premises, that's been not replicated to the cloud here, right? That means on premises to cloud replication or a reverse replication by default, it's been not happening here. So what I'm trying to say here, you are part of a project where you have a 5,000 or a 6,000 resources or user account, it's been created on in on premises AD, and on in the same time you have a cloud also, it's been available on the cloud. You have created a Entra ID. Here also you have created a few user account here. For example, like in Entra ID, you have created a user account called Zurag, and on in the on-premises side, you have created a user account called Robin. You may be notice here by default, we are not configured anything here. I'm just saying like by default, if you take any scenario, on premises to cloud replication by default not happening here, and a reverse also not happening here. See, that means if you created any user account on in on premises or to cloud, it's been not happening here, and cloud to on premises also not happening here. So at any point of time, if the client or the customers are thinking like the existing user account needs to be replicated to the cloud, you have to do a kind of a replication with the help of a concept called Active Directory AD Connect or Entra ID AD Connect or Entra ID Connect here. That is a solution you have to use it here. So by default, you cannot replicate any of the user account which you have been created on in a on-premises to cloud. A reverse replication also not possible here. In case if you want to enable any kind of replication here, you have to enable Entra ID Connect. Until unless if you are not enable this option, you cannot replicate the user account from your on-premises to cloud here. That may be the first feature, that may be the first option you have to remember here. So any of the user replication, it's only possible with the help of this here. Now let's go back to the cloud here. Now we have a user called Surag has been available here. Let's log in with the user account called Surag. Let's go and see, are we able to log in or are we able to manage any of the resources here? Let me go back to this portal here. Let me take a Surag username or a password here. Let me change the password here. So we need to support this app here. So I may have to scan this username or a password. So it's been asking for the authenticator app here. Let me go and approve that. Let me scan this. I'm just downloading the Microsoft Authenticator app. So this basically a second layer validation here. That means if you give the username or a password, that is not sufficient here, right? So using an authenticator app, we have to approve here, right? And you may be able to see how to type the code here. See whatever code we are getting here in the mobile. I need to install the authenticator app. With the help of that, I need to enable here, right? Maybe able to say like there is an option. I have to use it here. So with the help of that, I can able to enable it here. So you may be able to see like you have a solution is been available, and with the help of that, you can able to configure here. Right now, this application is been authenticated here. Now, right now you can see like authenticate app is been submitted here. Right now, you may be able to see like Suragi has been logged into the portal here with whatever single sign-on ID or the password which you have been received from the organization here. See, you may be able to see like if Suragi has been connected to the virtual machine, see, he's not able to see any of the VM which have been created. See, when you go back to the portal here, you had around 4 or 5 virtual machines. You had almost a 50 plus resources are available here. See, all these resources are available. But when Surag has been connected here, only the authentication is been approved here. See, that means when you go back on to Office, if you receive any Office ID or a single sign-on ID, that doesn't mean you can able to go and configure all the resources on the portal here, because by default your access or role it's been controlled with the help of a concept called RBAC here. That's called role-based access control here. So based on your role in your organization, that can be configured on in a different level here. One, it can be configured on in a management group level, or this can be configured on in a second level called resource group subscription level, management group level, or a subscription level, or this can be configured on in a resource group level, even resource level also. So in case if anyone want to use this one, we may have to go and define what kind of the role the end user is going to use it here. Because if you take your organization, you may have hundreds of subscription may be available. We don't want each and every user, or we don't want everyone to go and manage the resources here, right? You may be able to see like you have resources been available. You may be available on in a solution on in the real-time scenario. The permissions we are managed with the help of a RBAC options here. So you may be able to see like RBAC is the option we are using on in a real-time scenario here. So how the RBAC has been defined here? It's been defined on in a different level here. It's in a tenant level, management group level, or resource group level, or subscription level here. let me show you one example here. Right now, Suragi has been not able to see anything here, right? So if Suragi has been a person who has been responsible for managing a particular VM here, as a global admin, there is a different permissions are available here. As a global admin, I'll go and define Suragi is the person who has got a reader or a contributor or owner permission here. How this has been defined? I'll go to that particular resource on the properties. I'll be able to see there's an option called access control here. On the access control, I can able to define what kind of the role I need to define to Suragi here. If you go back here, you may be able to see like a reader here. I'm saying like Suragi is the person is going to be managed or is the person who is going to access this here. I'm just given the permissions here. Right now you can see I've just assigned with the one permissions here. There's a role assignment I have been done. Now let's allow this to reflect on into the Suragi user account here. Now let me go back to the Suragi account here. Right now if you see here, you can see here. So I'm just going back to solutions here. Now let the Suragi ID just let Suragi has been logged in again here. Validation, it's in progress here. It's been approved here. You can see here now it's been connected. You can see the server one, it's got approved here, right? You might be able to see like you have a server one, it's been available here. You may be able to see like a single resource is got a permissions here. So the point here, like when you configure any kind of a authorization, so whatever we have been done, you got a authentication on it, the portal doesn't mean you can have access to each and every resources on the portal. That's been not possible here. As a global admin or a cloud architect, it's your responsibility to define role-based access code here, right? you may be able to see like have a different role or a permission you can able to define here. So that's the way it's been managed, or that's the way it's been configured here. So you have a solution has been available, and with the help of that configuration has been managed on in the cloud infrastructure here. So you have option has been available where you can able to configure on in a resource level or a resource group level also. If you configure on in a resource group level here, technically what will happen, whatever resources you have been mapped or it's been binded to that resource group, there you will get a permissions here. So for example, like if you take on premises here, if Suragi has been got a permission on in a resource group, all the resource it's been belongs to that resource group, you will be getting a permissions here. So whatever resources are available here, it's been mapped to that resource group, you will get a permission. In case if you want to do, you can just go to the resource group. There you can see there is an option called role assignment here. With the help of that, you can able to do. Even you have an option for defining a custom role also. For example, like if you have virtual machine, you want to define a particular permissions here. You don't want to have all the permissions here. For example, like if you take a VM, you want to give only the permission to delete the VM, or you want to give a permission only to shut down the computer. In case if you want to do such kind of a micromanagement, then you have option for defining a custom role also. You may be able to see there are different custom role options also it's been supported here. So that's the way it's been normally it's been available on in the real-time scenario here. Is that point has been clear to everyone? So that's the way the role-based access control it's been available on in the real-time scenario here. So that's the way the configuration or authorization it's been available here. Any questions from anyone? Any questions from anyone here? Great. Surak, over to you.
Thank you for the session. I think I have shared a couple of links that is related to the community where you guys can join and participate in our upcoming next session, which is on fundamentals on security for Azure itself. So we'll have that in the future. The date is yet to be confirmed. We will update that, but make sure you be in the community so that you can register for that as well. And yeah, I will drop the links again to our community and also the certificate in the chat box. Make sure you check out that before you leave the meeting. And also the recording will be shared on our YouTube channel, and we will share it over to your email after that is being uploaded.
Thank you, Surak, and thank you, everyone. Talk to you on the next module. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all.